All right. Awesome. Great. Rolling?
Yep.
Cameras on?
Yep.
Mic on? All right. Three, two. What's going on, everybody? It's me, Asad Hashim, back again with another episode of Behind the Grind. It's been a long one. The last episode was completely audio. This time we're back with a video one. The last episode had Halima Iqbal, the CEO and co-founder of Oran. And today I decided to actually switch things up a little bit. I called in someone I've known for some time, someone who I want to have on actually for a while as well. His name is Aman Virji. Aman,
How you doing?
is that you?
That is I.
That is you. All right. How you doing, Aman?
Good, man. Thanks for having me over.
My pleasure. Thanks for actually coming on.
Yeah, it's been a rough, trying to kind of coordinate things, get it all done, but we managed to get here.
Yeah. So for those who follow me, I'm sure you may have seen or heard about this restaurant by the name of The Verge. Aman is the founder of The Verge as well, and I think you've had quite the journey with The Verge itself.
I've had quite the journey overall, but The Verge has been quite the roller coaster. I will not lie.
All right. So tell me a little bit about like what was the build up to The Verge, and then how has the past year been overall for you in your space?
So The Verge is a passion project. I do restaurants for a living. I'm a consultant by profession, but I've always had like this one dream that, like I want a certain restaurant and I want a certain way, and the wall should be like this, the floor should be like this, the bathroom should be like this. And like, I just wanted everything to come together as one. I've been planning this spot for 10, 12 years.
Wow.
And when it was all coming together, it was a bit haywire. And the day of our opening, it was 2 summers ago, and when it had rained on Bakra Eid.
Mm-hmm.
And the day of our opening, and we went in, and we were fully booked, and we had 4 feet of water in the basement, which wasn't good. So we had to restart, rebuild, redo it all over again. Khair chalo ho gaya. Then we finally opened December 15th, 2020. December 16th, we opened. December 31st, I flew out. My wife was in labor. First, I got to the UK at like 9 or 10 p.m. And at 7 a.m., my son was born.
Wow.
And 7-8 days later, I was back in Karachi, doing the grind.
Yeah.
And my wife came back to Pakistan sometime mid-Feb.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, look, we got to open lunch. I'm working 16 hours a day.
Yeah.
We just got married. This is our first child, maybe more comfortable at your mother's house.
Yeah.
And we moved her there on March 10th.
Yeah.
March 15th, we shut the restaurant because of COVID. And March 18th was lockdown.
Damn.
And so everything shut. We moved it back. We moved it to my house, which was quite the adventure. And we ran a delivery service from there after a few months.
Mm-hmm.
And my house isn't built to be a commercial kitchen.
Yeah.
So my house caught on fire.
Oh shit.
So the whole kitchen, shit.
It could get worse.
No, it gets worse. Don't worry.
Damn,
Yeah.
okay. All right.
So that happened, and then they reopened things in August, and we moved everything back to the restaurant. And we got to the restaurant, and 2 weeks later, it was that wonderful, torrential rainfall that happened, and my restaurant flooded again. And whatever that we had lost during COVID, we lost in that 5 days of flood. And I'll share pictures with you after this, because there was water till here outside the restaurant, let alone what's happening inside the restaurant. And it was just nothing short of a nightmare. And then, we rebuilt and went, forward, and we reopened, and it was great. It was amazing. And then somebody poached my staff overnight.
Damn.
And I lost my entire team. And I was like, shit. Then we rebuilt, and I closed the restaurant for a week, 10 days, rebuilt, went forward, opened up again, and then they shut indoor dining about a month later. And then, we ran that for a bit, and it was good. It was fun. It was just a lot of headache and a lot of uncertainty and a lot of stress. Yeah. And then I was just like, man, I can't do this anymore. And I shut the restaurant for a bit. And I am very, very fortunate enough that my key team members stuck around with me. And we reopened about 3 weeks ago, and I could not be happier. And I could not be where I am without my team, which is great.
Damn. I really do hope that the downside is over, because it's just been one roller coaster. 2 years.
That's life.
That's yeah, and that's also what tests you, I guess. But tell me a little bit about the consultancy side. Like, when did you get into that? Are you a chef? Are you a chef by degree?
I can cook. I have a background in hospitality management.
Okay.
I can cook. I enjoy cooking. I do not consider myself to be a chef, because I think a chef is somebody who is in a kitchen day in, day out, organizing, controlling, maintaining, managing.
Yeah.
Right. I am more. I like structure.
Right.
So I like to coach and guide individuals and help them achieve their greatness, and I will guide them to do so.
Okay.
If I can do it myself, yes, I can do it myself, but I would not consider myself a chef.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I have a fantastic chef on my team, and I give all the credit to him.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
I'm already enjoying this, because you're not taking all the credit.
I take no credit. I am just someone who puts people together. I try to motivate them, make them happy, and I am just a cog in a much bigger picture.
Yeah.
And without having the team that I have, I don't think that it would be possible.
Wow. All right. So when you start, you've been thinking about The Verge. I'm gonna come back over here for a second now, but you were thinking about The Verge. It's been in your heart for like over a decade. Were there moments before 2019 where you tried opening it up, or tested out the concepts, or tested out key parts of the entire experience in your consultancy projects, or was it just like in your head?
So I take every consultancy project as my own. And I like to take ownership, because it's a relationship that you build with people over time. And it's not like, okay, I'm going to do this for 2 months. I got to make this work, because it's my name. My name is secondary, but a lot of the people who are doing this put in a lot of hard work, passion, a lot of money gets involved into this. And you want to see people like succeed.
Yeah.
Some do, some don't. But yes, I have tried in the past, not with something as out of the box as The Verge, with safer options. Some worked, some did not work. But that's, the nature of the business, and what do you do?
And did you always think about pursuing like the food and bev industry in this manner? Or was it initially you thought about being in the kitchen versus being the face of the kitchen, or like being in multiple kitchens?
Man, I was very fortunate enough to go to school in Switzerland and do hospitality management. I'm not going to lie, I didn't learn very much from there.
Yeah.
But when I came back, I had a bit of a chip on my shoulder,
right.
And I thought that I'm in Pakistan and I know more than everyone else. And
Ye to bikega.
But something like that, and I started my first business from my house. It was called Room Service.
Okay.
And I had my little like pseudo call center, and I say pseudo because there was like 2 ghetto computers in a corner, and like we had this whole thing, and I would pick up the phone, and it was my whatever, IVR, whatever you want to call it. And then I had made a commercial kitchen on the other side of my house to deliver stuff. It was a good learning experience. It taught me a lot that, that I don't know everything about the business. And then, from there, I just wanted to learn more and more and more and more. And, we just went from there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So for personally, I wanted to be a chef at one time. Like, I thought that I would actually go to culinary school, go to either Cordon Bleu or go to CIA and figure all that out. But then eventually the dream changed. And it's very easy. Like, I think it's similar to my business. If you throw a stone like in any direction, you'll find someone or the other who says they want to be a chef, or they like cooking, or they would like to get into food and bev. But oftentimes, the reality is very different. So like, what is that difference what do you think is it that actually demarcates person's, especially in this profession, what demarcates a hobby from a profession itself?
That's very easy. Passion and perseverance. It's a very, very, very difficult business. Everyone who I went to school with, and funny enough, because somebody called me from college this morning, randomly out of the blue, 16 years later, and he just messaged me to say, "Hey man, how you doing?" And I have a WhatsApp group of all the people I went to college with, or like the majority of.
Yeah.
And aside from the people who own hotels, nobody is in the business anymore. Like zero.
Yeah.
Because they're all like fuck this. Like what?
Yeah.
Because it's long hours. It's tough. There's no
Yeah.
recognition.
Yeah.
You know, people aren't happy. You're a people's pleaser, and you know, like it's tough.
Yeah.
But if it's what you want to do, it's what you want to do,
Mm-hmm.
right? I have my reasons for doing it. My reasons aren't the food per se. It's I like to talk to a lot of people, so I'm generally in the restaurant, and you know, like when I train staff, you know, the smile that I can put on their face means the world to me. And the same thing with people, like when you know that somebody had a good meal.
Yeah.
And you know, like food's important.
Yeah.
And when somebody had a good meal and they're happy and they enjoy it, and you know, you gauge in that like 30 seconds to a minute and a half of conversation.
Yeah.
And they leave pleased.
Yeah.
That's my motivation. I mean, money comes and goes, but like you know, you gotta really like have a heart for the business if you want to be there. A lot of people feel because the barriers to entry are very low. Like if you want to set up a factory today, you know, it'll cost you, I don't know, man, 30-40 crore.
Yeah.
Which is a significant amount of money. But you want to enter the restaurant industry, you can do so.
Starting from home.
You can start from home, and that's what a lot of the pandemic has taught us, and you know, go from there. And there's been a lot of success stories, which get there. It's how you want to build it and how you want to make it. And you know, if you really got the heart for it, then move forward.
Interesting. I like, again, like I'm enjoying this already because of you just focusing around people itself. You don't really find that, and that's interesting to see. So with the Verge, coming back to that, what is that? What is it that actually gets you to walk in every day?
My team.
And seeing what they can do.
I've struggled with my team in the past, and I'm very big on self-help and learning from my own mistakes. And I've never been like the egotistical sort and saying that, you know, this is mine. But I've had that feedback from my team. And when my team walked out on me, this is what someone who was with me for a very long time, this is what he felt. And this guy was like family to me.
Yeah.
And I would never want to set up, you know, a business or an industry or what I would like to say a family.
Yeah.
And where I feel that, you know, like it's because of me that everything has gone forward. Yeah. It cannot happen that way.
Yeah.
So it's just about building, and you know, you empower people, and if they move forward, then you know, we move forward together. I think that's fair.
And is that something that you look for in your clients as well when you set up, when you work as a consultant, to actually see what is it that's driving them? Because it seems like, sorry, based on what you're saying, it also seems like the success of the restaurant is predicated on that level of passion from the owners or from the people that are running it. And then it's like, what's at the center? What's fueling their why, their passion itself? Do you look for that?
So my initial meeting with every client will always be very, very negative. And I will discourage them and tell them it's a terrible business.
Yeah.
And, you know, like, oh, you know, again, going back, the barriers are low and you're going to keep sinking money into it. And, you know, the chance of success is like 8% and you shouldn't do it and blah, blah. And I want to see their passion. I mean, look, we're in Pakistan. Restaurants open up a dime a dozen.
Yeah.
10 khulte, 9 band ho jate.
Yeah.
The number one reason for failure, for a restaurant at least, is 100% the owner. Because look, if there's a problem, I mean, look, what are you doing? You're selling food, you're selling service. Two things. If your food's not good, fucking fix it.
Yeah.
If your service isn't good, train your damn staff.
Yeah.
If your prices are too high, work around it, find a way. If your prices are too low, raise your prices. Like there's a solution for everything. And it's not just with restaurants, it's with everything as a whole.
Yeah.
I mean, I recently hired an individual and he's like, sir, mera job security kya hoga? And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, yaar, ye na hove ki aap mujhe 3 mahine baad bole, yaar, aapka kaam samajh mein nahi aata hai and aap mujhe nikal do. And I was like, why would I do that? He's like, I don't know. He's like, मेरे साथ हो चुका है. And I'm like, यार वजह क्या था? कहते यार बिजनेस चल नहीं रहा था, सेल्स नहीं आ रहे थे, खाना सही नहीं था, ये इशू था, वो इशू था, फलाना इशू था. And I'm like, you were the operations manager. Why didn't you fix it? Sir, असल में जो है ना, like that's your job. Either shit or get off the pot.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have no desire to fire anyone. I will never fire anyone.
Yeah.
But I can't help someone who doesn't want to be helped.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
100%. 100%. So like I want to move a little bit into the operations of the business itself.
Oh.
But so when we see the business right now of food and bev, or the way I see it is that I don't know if you follow what's happening in the States, especially with food and bev, not from a culinary perspective, but from a business perspective. Like the initial founder of Uber left Uber and set up Cloud Kitchen and raised like $400 million from the
That
Saudi
happened in
sort of
India
money.
as well with Rebel Foods.
Yeah. So like do you think that something like that could happen in Pakistan or has been happening in Pakistan especially because of the pandemic?
Yes, I do think it's very, very possible that it can happen. We have a huge population that needs to be catered to. I think that the dynamics are very difficult. It is something that I'm also looking into, something that I've been toying with for the past 2 or 3 years. Like I said, I'm very, very skeptical on how things are run. And I do feel that, look, in delivery, no matter what you're serving, your food quality is going to die by bare minimum 30%. It can work if you have the right managerial setup. Look, McDonald's came here, in 1997, 1998. Man, they struggled a very long time. Same thing with KFC, same thing with any other franchise that comes in from abroad.
Yeah.
Anything is possible if you work towards it. So I can't really say, I'm sure there's some models that do very well delivery-wise. Pizza is one of them. And if you just, keep on, you keep on.
But is this space something that's very cuisine specific, or could it be for like even because I'm looking from the perspective is that the 65% or this big 85-95% of the population that could not like afford espresso or like Xander's or something like that, but would actually want like dhaba food coming to them. Do you think in that space this would work?
They are more concerned with the price point. So they would rather walk or drive or bike that 10-15 minutes and save that additional charge to them.
Yeah.
And right now, like, I don't know if you've seen like how inflation is like it's coming in tenfold.
Yeah.
Life's not going to get much easier. It's tough to say right now. I do think that there is a market. There's a lot of education that's going to come into play. We are a very, very stubborn nation, and we do not like change.
Yeah.
It has come in. From my understanding, Pizza Hut was the first company to start actual food delivery in Pakistan. And, it's moving forward. You have companies like Broadway, which are doing fantastic.
With the frozen line as well.
I can't comment on the frozen line. I have no idea how that's working and how many people are.
But why do you say Broadway? Like, are they doing something different?
No, because Broadway is a local chain,
Yeah.
and I really salute them because where they've come in the past 7 years, and I think they're on like their 50th outlet now, and they've taken their brand to Dubai and international markets. OPTP is another brand, and it's just amazing to see.
Yeah.
All of this happening. From a developing nation like Pakistan.
Yeah.
So it gives us hope.
Is there a way that could be accelerated, like what Broadway is doing or what like OPTP has done in some way?
Yeah, you get the right people on board, and you have the right amount of capital to back it up, and you just accelerate and you go full throttle. And you just make sure that as you hit road bumps or hurdles, you fix them right then and there.
Okay, I have a question now because you said this. Are you the type of person that is more of the opinion of fail fast, fail frequent, or no room for failure?
No room for failure doesn't exist. It's quite funny that you said this because I constantly argue with my finance and supply chain manager, and and he's very close to me, and my marketing guy, and they've been around in my life for like 7, 8, 9 years, and they're always just like your expectations are too high, and you can't expect this from people. This is Pakistan, blah blah, and they're like, why do you spend so much time training people? What if they leave? What if they don't?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, and yes, 10 out of 10 times they leave. But there is that 5% chance that they will stick around. And even if they do leave, किसी का जिंदगी तो बन गया ना.
Yeah.
And if they don't, क्या पता मेरा जिंदगी बन जाएगा.
Yeah.
So it's one of those, it's a catch-22, but I don't like failure. I don't believe in failure. And I believe that if there's a problem, fix it.
Yeah.
Don't wait till the point that, the problem accelerated. It's come from 0 to 100.
Yeah.
And you're like, shit, now everyone's talking poorly about my restaurant.
Yeah.
Which is why I say that the restaurant is so revolved around the owner.
Mm-hmm.
Because until someone doesn't take that ownership,
It's not gonna move.
it's not a factory, right? Like there's no machinery. It's not like har doodh ka dabba ek jaisa banega.
Yeah.
Right? Like everything is individual prepared. And you got to create that hierarchy. And I'm so big on like team, and I want to take care of my team. And look, if I will grow, fuck yeah, man, my team is gonna grow, man. Like they are my family. We have 24 hours in a day.
Yeah.
6 hours of that day, bare minimum, you need to spend sleeping.
Yeah.
Right? That leaves us another 18 hours a day.
Yeah.
Right? I'm someone who works 12 to 14 hours a day. And I spend it with those individuals who I am with on a constant basis every day. That is my family. I mean, I have my family. I love them. Don't get me wrong. But, and they are also spending a good portion of their daily lives at work or with me or with their team, and instilling that concept into them. With some people, it takes a week. Some people, it takes a year. Some people, it doesn't happen at all.
Yeah.
But if you can instill this belief system and you have that core team, then man, fuck, you can achieve anything in life.
Awesome, man. Shit. Okay. So speaking of your family, actually, I want to know how does it work? What goes on in your day-to-day with the consultancy? Like, I didn't know that you would actually have a supply chain manager and a marketing guy and a finance guy.
This is all new. So I'm moving away from the consultancy. I am now looking at opening up my own establishments. And COVID had taught me a lot. Like I opened up my dream restaurant, and like it was the best place to be. And look, when you open a restaurant, for those first 3 months, it doesn't matter who you are, you're a celebrity.
Yeah.
Right? Like everybody wants to come to your restaurant and be around you. Acha hai, bura hai, jaisa bhi hai. Theek hai yaar, main usko janta hu. Haan, main table karwa dunga. It's one of those kind of situations. And you are the guy that everybody wants to call.
Yeah.
And it was a great feeling. And then like everything just crumbled and fell. Like because like this is something I've been planning for so long.
Yeah.
Like my whole world shattered.
Yeah.
And I had so much to be thankful for because, like I had just, we had a beautiful baby boy, like 3 months into this, and it made me like move away from that. And, like I was upset, and, it was very tough on my wife, and she was a great support system. And now what we have done is that I want to digress away from the food and beverage. So food and beverage, yes, is there, right? That's what brings the money in. But now we are focusing on becoming an HR company, right? So we're looking at developing a bunch of new restaurants, all QSR based. QSR is a quick service restaurant, very scalable.
Okay.
And I want to develop proper training programs, manuals, all of that stuff, because this is what I do.
Yeah.
When I do it for everyone else, why not do it for myself?
Yeah.
And, like help people and give them that hand that they can move forward.
Yeah.
So now, like there's a lot of foundations that I'm a part of. And we take underprivileged individuals who get basic training from these places. Yeah. Who learn their soft skills and stuff like that. And then, we'll teach them more about food and beverage and, excuse me, XYZ. And, we'll get them started. And those who progress, we'll take them in from crew to shift supervisor to assistant restaurant manager to restaurant manager to area manager. And, like one day, general manager for those who, I mean, panch ungliyan barabar nahi hai. Yeah. But if I can build that, like what a great thing to do, especially in a place like Pakistan. And like that's the plan.
So let me get this straight. What you're doing is that you're creating like restaurants, or you're creating centers or like institutions?
No. So I'm creating restaurants. So we're now building a burger place. Okay. And a separate pizza place. Later on we're gonna have additional things as well. Yeah. And I could combine this all under one roof and create a cafe. Yeah. But that would demoralize my staff, right? Yeah. Because if I have one place, there's only like one individual who grows. But if I have 3 of these or 4 of these different setups, there's more people, there's more room for people to grow, move forward, create their lives. It keeps them motivated. When we want to go into like Mirpur Khas or Sakkar or Larkhana or whatever,
Then
it's
those would
easier.
scale up and franchise
They
on their
will they
own.
will scale up, and I won't franchise. I'll
Okay.
keep it all
Okay.
corporate owned so I can contain the SOPs and ensure
Okay.
sustainability. But it gives them hope for a better tomorrow.
Yeah.
And like it helps us control our costs and things like that, and we can go, like, I would love to have a chain of restaurants in Quetta or Sakkar or Larkhana, because look, everyone goes abroad, everyone has access to social media, they all want good food,
Yeah.
they all want consistent food, and they want it at an affordable price.
Yeah.
This is what I do.
Yeah.
So why not give this to a wider demographic, make people happy, and see where it goes.
But then would there be a back end of where you have your funnel of team members coming in and being trained from as well?
Well, yeah. So you set up an HR, like we'll have different departments. So you have your accounts, finance, supply chain, marketing, operations, HR, all of this. I mean, that'll all come in time. I can't start here.
Yeah.
So right now there's me and one individual in a room very similar to this.
Okay.
And then I have another friend who is helping us out. And we're being very cautious with our expenses. But this is the plan, this is the dream, this is how we want to take it, and teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Damn straight. Which actually now gets me to think about the fact that since you said this on air, online, what do you feel like is actually missing from, I don't want to say the scene in Karachi especially, or in Pakistan, but like, what do you feel like is actually missing when it comes to the mindset of these entrepreneurs that want to, get into food and bev? You just shared a solid idea, right? Like, you're kind of putting yourself out there saying, I'm doing this without any like hesitation on who's going to take your idea, who the fuck's going to come in, and like, your own staff got poached, which is big over here.
That's okay. My staff got poached by a client of mine, and I was very upset. And I'd spoken to them, and the answer that I got was like, look, we offered him more money, either you match it or it is what it is. And that made sense. And like, I will never stop anyone from moving forward. Yeah. Because like, who's not an opportunist, right? You work to move forward, I work to move forward, he works to move forward. I can't stop anyone from that. And if someone's going to offer them a better lifestyle, hats off. It was difficult for me, but it's my job as an entrepreneur or as an owner or as a boss or as an employee or as a dishwasher or whatever, find a solution. Yeah. It sucks, it's stressful, but that's life.
Interesting. And किसी का हक क्यों छीनना वैसे? At the end of the day, I get that. What do you think is missing in the scene right now when it comes to food itself? Like, what do you feel like are some ideas that either haven't been tapped into or some concepts that haven't been leveraged yet over here?
I don't think it matters.
No?
Man, look, I'm opening a burger place. Yeah. Right? I won't mention names because it would be incorrect to me. There's like, off the top of your head, you can even name a dozen burger places right now. They all work, man. In Karachi alone, what's our population? 25 million? Yep. Let's say that, chalo, maybe not all 25 million have the affordability. 10 million ke paas to hai na? That's a huge fucking number, man. That's huge. That's colossal. And there's enough of the pie for everyone to go around. I'm opening my place right next to a very famous burger chain. And this guy is supplying me with some equipment, and I went and told him, and he was telling me all his ideas, and I've known him for a long time. And I was like, look, man, I'm doing something very similar, so please don't tell me all this, because it would be wrong. Yeah. And I don't want you to feel, and we're friends, whatever. And I'm like, but look, it doesn't matter. And who cares? Because you do your thing, I'll do my thing. I mean, when you go to New York, California, this and that, you have, I don't even know, like there's like at least 1 million burger places. Yeah. Yeah, सबका अपना नसीब है, सबका हक है. Yeah, जिसको जो मिलना है ना यार वो मिल जाएगा. So it doesn't, like, I don't believe in competition. If you want to believe in competition and say that the market is so saturated, fuck, do it better. You think McDonald's is scared of like 1 million burger places opening up? No. You just one up and you keep working and persevere and you keep finding ways to improve and ensure guest satisfaction. That's hospitality.
Okay. And because you said you don't believe in competition, do you believe in competing with yourself?
Every day.
What drives that?
I want to do better. I want to do better than yesterday. I want to do better than last week. And when tomorrow comes, I want to make sure that I'm better the next week. That's the only way to move forward. I mean, you look at yourself and you say, like, where do you want to be in 10 years? I want to be better. And you ask me in 10 years, where do I want to be? I want to be better. And that's the only way, as long as you keep moving forward. You drive, right? When you drive, you have this huge windscreen in front of you, and you got this little itty bitty, like rear view mirror. So it's great to look back and reflect upon the past and see what all has happened.
Yeah.
But you gotta focus. You gotta just keep on, and shit happens. And I'm not gonna lie, man, I have terrible days. I have days where I will sit in the shower and I will cry. And I will be like, man, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? And I want to give up and I can't. And you find a way and you just keep on, and keep on. It's not the thing is, it's not me.
Yeah.
Right? My drive is creating jobs. My drive is helping people and focusing on people and creating avenues for people to move forward. And it's very difficult. And I'm not going to say it's very difficult because we're in Pakistan, the education level and blah, blah. World over, this is something that's very difficult.
Yeah.
I recently I spoke to an HR consultant. She's a good friend of mine. And, and I said, this is what I want to do, but I don't know how to structure. And, how do I focus on this? And she's like, yeah, man, look, she's like, I go to a lot of restaurants. She's like, I don't mind dropping money. And, I'll pay this person and pay that person. But she's like, I don't care about your dream. When I go to a restaurant, I want good service, I want good food, and I don't want to waste my time or money. Which made sense to me. So this time around, when we reopened the Verge, the majority of people that we had hired were people who hadn't worked before or required a lot more training. And, because I'm fucking imagine, Aman Virji, main kar sakta hu. And that came back to bite me in the ass a bit because it delayed my opening by about a month and a half. And obviously that costs money. And when we did our soft launch, there were some hiccups, and there are still hiccups today. And when, and I had invited this individual to the soft launch, and she was like, yeah, main aayi thi, to yaar aapka waiter jo na bahut zyada bol raha tha. I didn't like it, and he was unsure of how to present himself. Excuse me. And that made me realize that what is my dream is my dream. I cannot put that upon the guest. I can create the perception and explain to people. But when you go into a restaurant and you drop X amount of money, whether that's 30 rupees or 30,000 rupees, you expect a certain level of service, and because that's what you're entitled for as a guest. People say that the customer is always right.
Yeah.
I don't believe that. No one is always right. We're all human. We all make mistakes. The customer, and I teach this to all of my staff, the customer is king. The customer or the guest, they come in, they want a meal, they want service, they pay. They pay for our rent, they pay for our electricity, they pay for your staff, they pay for the roof over my head and for my child's education. So as long as you understand that the customer is king, we're good to go. And that's just the nature of the business.
Damn. It's a very heavy pill to swallow as well at times, I'm sure. On bad days.
That's life, right?
Yeah.
You have good days, you have bad days, and
Yeah.
that's just how it is.
Damn. Tons of perspective in this one. Huh? Yeah. All right, I'm not going to take up too much of your time. I've got 2 last questions left.
By all means, ask away.
So if again, feel free to actually go as wide or as narrow with this as you like, but what is the one area in your industry that you feel you'd like to change for the better?
Oh, I know the answer to this. I'm just trying to put it collectively together. A lot of business owners, and I say business because I'm not just focusing on the industry alone, is that a lot of people want to make money.
Yeah.
And of course, I do too, as do you. But a lot of people don't take care of their staff. And I feel that the whole pandemic has taught people on how to cut corners and how to save costs. And during that time, a lot of business owners went to their staff, and including myself, and said that, you know what, hey, this is what's happening. I got to cut salaries. But when things started to open up again and that recovery happened, a lot of business owners continued to keep, a very sparse amount of staff because they realized they can get more work done from less amount of people. But they didn't reward their staff and they didn't give back. And this has come back to bite me in the ass a lot of times as well, that because I want to take care of my team, sometimes I take it for granted and it shafts me. But if you I don't know, if you take care of your people, I have a thing, I call it the triangle theory. So you have the owner, the boss, whatever, you have your team, and then you have your guests or your staff or your customers. As long as I'm taking care of my team, they will take care of the guests. If the guests keep coming in,
They'll take care of you.
they will take care of me. It's this vicious, it's not a cycle, but you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
And the same way that if my team is unhappy, the guests will be unhappy, and I will be unhappy, and then I will be going back at them. So it's just, I don't know, man. I just think that being in a country, and Pakistan is one of the countries that we have the highest level of donations and whatever the word is, humanitarianism. Just take care of people, man. That's just how it should be. And pay higher salaries or don't pay higher salaries, but reward them. I don't believe that money is the greatest motivator, but it is important, man. Everyone has a family, everyone has expenses, everyone is stressed out. Financial stress, I feel, is the worst kind of stress to have. And that's about it.
All right. Interesting. And if you could go back in time and if you could meet your younger self, what would you say to him?
Don't fuck around.
Simple. Just don't.
No. My cousin taught me something about 8 or 9 years ago, and I was really stressed out. And I had gone to him to ask for money. And he just flat out said no. And I was like, why? And I'm like, I need help. You're like my older brother. Why won't you help me? He's like, because it's not my job. He's like, look, Aman, do what you love what you do. Money's an added bonus. And as long as you realize that and you do everything with passion, he's like, everything works out. And I was reading a book, I can't remember which one, and in that book it said, it all works out in the end. If it hasn't worked out,
it's not the end.
It's not the end. And that's just something that I just keep moving towards, and I keep training my staff, and I keep trying to tell people on a day-to-day basis that, yeah, man, life may suck now, and, good days don't stay, bad days don't stay. So just keep fighting.
Interesting, man. This actually took a very different turn. I wasn't expecting this kind of conversation.
What were you expecting?
I was expecting something like, well, yeah, don't get into fucking food and bev. It sucks. It's hardcore. But
what doesn't suck?
There you go.
What business does not take that effort and time? And even if you get into manufacturing or automotive, you got to learn, man. And once you've learned, then you're in a place where you can say that, yes, hey, I've achieved something.
Yeah.
But if you walk in, much like my younger self, with a chip off your shoulder and said, hey, man, I came from Switzerland and I know more than you guys and filet mignon and this and that, and I can throw some big words at you.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter, man.
Yeah.
Just do better than the next guy.
I started off these conversations initially, what I was telling you before we started recording was that I started this off because I wanted to actually sit with people who are doing cool shit on a regular basis, people whose grind I admire and people whose stories I admire as well. And what I've just come to realize, and this is like the cherry on top, is that at the end of the day, वो नियत वाली बात है. आप किस नियत से कर रहे हो? Because what you just said, like many of the principles that you spoke about, especially about people being at the center of it all, it's all about people. If your people aren't happy, they're not going to be, doing their service ahead. The same principles I try to apply over here at the company too. And it's like, those are, you have to abide by those principles, or you should, or you ought to abide by those principles, because it's never going to be easy, but you also just don't want to be a dick along the way. You don't want to, like, leave anyone with a bad taste in their
I'm
mouth.
not gonna lie. I've been a massive dick along
Yeah.
the way, but you learn from your mistakes.
Yeah.
In our restaurant at the Verge, so a lot of restaurants they have a divided tip share,
Yeah.
and I want everyone to receive an equal amount, because man, look, without food, service is nothing. Without service, food is nothing. Without my dishwasher, we have no fucking clean plates.
Yeah.
What do you do? And yet, uska bhi hak hai, unka bhi hak hai, sabka hak, barabar milna chahiye. And, I keep going back, man, teamwork.
Yeah.
And as long as you understand that it's not just a team and it's a family and you take care of your own. I sound like Vin Diesel right now, but okay.
No, that's fine, man. But thank you so much for taking out the time,
No,
Aman.
thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it.
I hope you enjoyed the conversation.
I really did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good end to a long day.
This is not the end of my day.
Ah, shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to the restaurant right now.
Okay.
I'm gonna go to the restaurant rather.
Yeah. All right. But thanks once again for joining on. That was Aman Virji. If you haven't been to the Verge, then go and follow him. Check him out and follow Behind the Grind. And see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.